And good afternoon, everyone. My name is meteorologist Heather Kay. If I can press my button there we go. And it's time up for our daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by See-Through Group, Midland Law Group, American Contractor Show, as well as Atlas Roofing. Thank you guys for sponsoring our video. So as you can see, I am in front of the desk today and not in front of the green screen, as I'm pretty much the only one here, but that's okay. We do have a good amount to talk about, including all of the activity that we saw yesterday. So we do have a few maps, a 4-star map and a 5-star map. One was in Texas, and the other one was a surprise storm that we saw in Colorado yesterday. So we'll talk about all of that. And then getting into today's risk, we do have another area, basically the same areas from the Front Range all the way down to Texas. So we'll get into that as well. And then getting into our Saturday and into our Sunday, there are some more areas that we'll be watching for the potential of severe weather for basically our weekend. So we'll get into that near the end. But before we get into our forecast, we do have an event coming up in a few weeks. This is basically our hurricane version of our hail forecast. I know you guys loved our hail forecast so much that we are going down to Florida on June 18th to give basically our what we're thinking is going to happen for our hurricane season this year. So it's called the Raising Cane Forecast. The event is on our Facebook page, so you can buy your tickets there. And again, it's down in Orlando, Florida on June 18th, so hopefully we will see a lot of you all there. So now recapping what we saw yesterday, you can see all of those reports that basically happened from Colorado down into the Panhandle of Texas and Central Texas, Eastern Texas. We saw a lot of wind there and a few scattered reports as well in the northern part of the U.S. So zooming into the Denver area, you can see that there were so many hail reports that you can kind of not really see them individually. They're all clumped together. And then we saw more reports from basically Kansas all the way down into the Panhandle of Texas and into Central Texas as well. So Midland, you guys got hit pretty good yesterday, especially the western part of the city. And there are a few other areas as well that got some large hail there. And then again, just a few scattered reports in parts of South Dakota and Nebraska, as well as northwestern Iowa. So let's recap the two storms that we had yesterday that made those two 3-star or higher maps. The first one, again, was a 5-star map that we made in Colorado late last night. This was a bit unexpected. We did expect storms in the Front Range, but we did not expect the hail to get into Denver proper. So we did have some large hail from basically Northwest Minister, North Glen, Thornton, Aurora, and Denver. That's the name of the map. And you can just see here those brighter colors indicating that large hail. Aurora got especially hard hit, as well as Thornton. And then a second storm decided to develop over Denver, down into downtown Denver, where up to golf ball size happened. So the largest hail that fell was up to baseball size, so 2.75 inches in diameter. And the amount of homes that were impacted by quarter-size hail or larger was a little over 297,000. So again, 5-star map. I am wearing my 5-star shirt today, so this map is available online for you guys to view right now. If you're not a subscriber yet and you want to subscribe to this area, you can scan the QR code above in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, and we can get you set up with a demo, and hopefully we can help you guys out with that. And then again, a few scattered hail reports happened in the eastern part of the state as well. And then we had a 4-star map, and surprise, not really, the state of Texas, basically at Midland, as well as Gardendale, and then a small storm popped up over Waxahachie. So the largest hail that fell from this was up to 3 inches in diameter. The amount of homes that were impacted by quarter-size hail or larger was a little over 101,000. So again, Midland, especially the western part of the city, you guys got some large hail there, and then some more storms to the south of Midland. And then the Panhandle, Texas, we got some large hail there as well. And then a small storm popped up over Waxahachie, where we saw some 2-inch hail out of that. So here are current conditions across the lower 48. We do have a cold front situated across the central part of the U.S., bringing us some showers and storms from Minneapolis down into the southern parts of Nebraska, and then we still have a disturbance here in the south. But you can see that cold front stretches all the way into the Denver area, so we will once again be watching the front range for more storms later on this afternoon and evening. So we can zoom into a few areas here. So Texas, for the most part, you're okay right now. Just a few scattered showers here and there. Heavy rain in Louisiana up into Mississippi, Arkansas, Missouri, up into parts of Kansas. And then again, more rain here from Nebraska all the way up into the Dakotas. We're clear right now in the Denver and Pueblo areas. We'll again be watching you guys later on this afternoon and evening for the potential for some storms to fire up there. So zooming on out, taking a look at our temperatures. Not too bad. It's a bit rain cold here in the south right now, so 72 in Houston, 77 in Dallas, 70 here in Oklahoma City. The warm spots are once again in the southern parts of Texas as well as into Florida, where it's 88 in Miami, and a lot of 60s and 70s elsewhere across most of the United States. So here are a few future radars. So later on this afternoon, we are anticipating some more storms to fire up in western Texas. You can see stopping at 5 p.m. some storms just to north of San Angelo and near the New Mexico-Texas border. And going further in time here, you can see some supercells trying to fire up here with this particular model at 7 p.m. And then another storm trying to fire up just north of Lubbock at 8. And then more activities expected to fire up here between 10 and 11 p.m. in the Panhandle, Texas. So Amarillo, Lubbock, all the way down to basically the Mexico-Texas border. Once again, we could see some large hail in those areas. And then as we go through the rest of this, or late tonight into tomorrow morning, we could get some storms to move through Dallas, although the severe potential is pretty much low to almost non-existent. They shouldn't be severe. They should just be some loud storms for you guys in the DFW area as a wake up tomorrow morning. Then moving up to the north, this particular model doesn't have a whole lot firing off in the front range, but you can see some storms will be firing up here in Nebraska, into Kansas, and a few little guys trying to fire up here near and east of Denver and Pueblo, Colorado Springs. We'll see what those do. And then as we go through the rest of the evening, you can see those storms continue to push off to the east into Kansas. And then as we get into late tonight into tomorrow morning, we could still see a few scattered storms here in southwestern Kansas. And near daybreak, we should see those storms diminish there. And then we do have another area here in Arkansas that we'll be watching with this little low spinning around here. Some storms are expected to fire up as we get into this afternoon, stopping it at 4 p.m. You can see some isolated storms here in central and northern Arkansas. So we'll be watching those for the potential for some quarter to $50 size hail. And then as we get through the rest of this evening and into tonight, that will push off to the northeast, although we could see some heavy rain here in Memphis as we get into late tonight and into tomorrow morning. So breaking it all down for the hail forecast for today, we do have two areas that we're going to be watching. The first one is going to be basically from Texas all the way up to Nebraska. We could see once again some hail up to tennis ball size to just south of Lubbock, all the way down to the Texas-Mexico border. San Angelo, San Antonio, Lubbock, Amarillo, we could see some large hail there for you guys. And then a low-end chance to see large hail in Denver and Pueblo. Again, we'll be watching guys carefully as this is the time of the year when the Front Range starts to wake up. We saw that yesterday evening. So if there is any kind of chance along the Front Range, we will be watching you guys very carefully. So a low-end chance, but that could turn into something more. I mean, again, yesterday is a great example of that. And then a low-end chance to see some $4.5 size hail in parts of Arkansas and in northern Louisiana. That does include the Little Rock area. Now getting into tomorrow, again, we'll wake up. Most of us will be dry here across the Front Range, just some leftover storms here in parts of Nebraska. And then going on into the rest of the morning, into the afternoon, those storms will start to fizzle out a bit. But then as we get to around 2 p.m. or so Central Time, some more storms are expected to fire up in parts of Kansas, as well as once again along the Front Range. So Denver down to Pueblo, we'll be watching you guys once again tomorrow. And you can see some more storms firing up here in parts of Kansas tomorrow evening. And that will push off to the east as we get into late tomorrow at night and into early Sunday morning. Wichita, you may get a bit noisy with some potential storms, and those will push off to the east and a weekend as we get into Sunday morning. And then moving on down south, once again, we'll see some more storms possible in western Texas. So not a whole lot going on for our Saturday morning, but then getting into tomorrow afternoon, you can see a few storms trying to fire up here along, just south of I-20. And then as we get that more heating of the day, some more storms are expected to fire up. And once again, some of the same areas that we've been watching the last few days. And then getting into late tomorrow evening, some more storm development is possible, including that large hail, and we'll push off to the east as we get into early Sunday morning. So we could see some storms rolling through Oklahoma City, stopping at 3 a.m. Central Time on Sunday morning, but I think that may be more of a wind threat by the time those roll through there. So breaking it all down for our Saturday, so I do have that red swap on there, so up to 2.5-inch hail is possible. There shouldn't be a whole lot of storms, but the storms that do develop could produce some large hail. So Fort Stockton, a moderate chance for you guys, a lower end chance for Lubbock and Amarillo. And then I do have Denver and Pueblo once again in a risk. We'll see how this turns out, as this particular model didn't have a whole lot firing off, but again, if those storms do develop, we could get some large hail rolling off of those Rockies and the North Platte. I have you at a low risk as well. So we are still kind of in an active pattern, but we're starting to warm up a bit as well. So we do have a disturbance here in the southern part of the U.S., and that will push off to the east very slowly as we get into our Saturday. And then we have that jet stream all the way up into the northern parts of the U.S. and into Canada. So, basically the things that are going to be setting off these storms are just these shortwave disturbances that the main flow is all the way up there into, you can see North Dakota and near the U.S.-Canadian border. But then as we get into Saturday, you can see a little disturbance here in the Rockies. That could be firing off some storms there. And then as we get into our Sunday, you can see a stronger shortwave trough starting to move on through into parts of the northern plains. So we'll actually be watching another large area from the Dakotas all the way down south into Texas once again as we get into our Sunday. And that will slowly push off to the east as well as we begin our Monday. So here is the area that we'll be watching for Sunday, potentially for that severe weather. So once again, the Dakotas, maybe as far east as Minneapolis, down into Nebraska, western Kansas, and into the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. This will be the area that we'll be watching for, again, that severe weather on Sunday. So I know this is a bit different. I'm in front of the webcam and in front of the green screen, but thanks you guys for joining us as always. And also, as always, if you haven't already, follow us on our Facebook page, our X, Twitter, whatever the heck you want to call it, Instagram, and YouTube, as well as our TikTok page. Make sure you hit see first on our Facebook so you don't miss any of our live videos, and scan that QR code at the northern part, or the upper right part of your screen. You can scan that and you can get set up with a demo to learn more about our products. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can call us at 855-334-4245. You can email us at info@hailtrace.com and check out our website at www.hailtrace.com. And once again, thank you to our sponsors. And I apologize for not pressing your buttons today, but check out, and I'll put their page links in the description below, like I always do, but See-Through Group and Merlin Law Group, American Contractors Show, as well as Atlas Roofing. Thank you guys, as always, for sponsoring this video, as well as all of our other videos. But yeah, that's all I have for you now. And I am meteorologist Heather Kay. I hope you all have a great rest of your Friday and a wonderful weekend.